If you are one of those creators who either has a membership program or you're thinking about starting one, after launching and shutting down about 5 of these programs over the past 8 years, there's some things here that I think would be helpful for you to think about in terms of what we've learned in our experience. Let me say I'm not anti-membership, but I do think that it may or may not make sense for everyone. And it really depends on your audience and your goals of what you're trying to accomplish. The very first membership program I started was a program we called Video Labs Membership. People would go through our Video Labs course, our 8-week training. Every single time at the end, the people who went through Video Labs would be like, this was amazing. How do we keep going? And for a while, my answer was like, I don't know. There really isn't a way for you to keep going. And so then they would often go off and create their own groups. After seeing that happen a few times, I'm like, there's clearly a need here that they want. And so we put together what I called the Video Labs membership program, which was a monthly fee. And for that monthly fee, you would get access to some additional content and trainings, live Zoom calls. And I think we also had our own private Facebook group. And that worked okay. But after running that for about a year, I saw a very similar pattern happen. After people finished Video Labs, they were really excited, wanted to keep going, and about 18% would convert into the membership program. They would start taking advantage of it, and they would be really engaged for about the first 2, maybe 3 months. And then after that, they just kind of fizzled out. And at the end, there was not a single person who renewed their membership. I was like, okay, well, they said they want this, but like, I guess this isn't the right thing or whatever. And so I shut that program down. I decided to launch a Patreon because one of the things I heard often from my audience was that being a YouTube creator is lonely and that they just want someone who understands them and can talk with them about things that they're experiencing and struggling with on their channel. So I launched Patreon with a lot of those types of community things as well. We tried integrating Discord. That didn't really get much traction, so I canceled that. We also tried doing some live Zoom calls and hangouts and social things. We had a good, really solid core of people who were showing up consistently and regularly and taking advantage of everything. And out of about, I don't remember how many patrons there were, 800 maybe, something like that at the time, we had about 20 people regularly engaged. And so from a revenue standpoint, it wasn't bad, but from a time commitment standpoint and from like the people actually engaging in it, it was like, you know what, this still doesn't feel like it's serving people the best way possible. I got to a certain level with Patreon and it was just flat. And then it started slowly declining and declining and declining. It just wasn't working. It was really hard to shut down Patreon, but I did it because I thought that these 20 people who really love it, I'm glad that they love it, but there's got to be a better way to serve these people better. And I tried other things too. YouTube memberships, very similar scenario happened there. And then about a year and a half ago, I worked really hard on changing some things with our course called 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel, which is our foundational level course for people who are trying to grow on YouTube and just frustrated with the amount of traction that they're not seeing on their channel. And that program was doing really well. And so we decided, well, let's add a community part to it where we can help coach some of these people through some of what they're doing there. And so we launched that as an upsell. After people bought 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel, you could get into what we called the Growth Network. And for $47 a month, there would be regular live Q&A sessions, weekly challenges that we were doing, social hours, just hanging out so people could connect, live guest interviews with guest experts, engaging posts and polls and feedback and ideas. And we were doing our best to reply to every single comment that was popping up in there. And then when that got to be too much, we built a team of mentors that we believe and trust. We were going way and above and beyond. And for some reason, we saw the same thing happen. It launched with a bang, and the conversion rate was really high from 30 Days to Better YouTube Channel into that growth network. The upsell converted at about 40-some%. Once it got as high as 50%, which is like half the people who saw the offer took us up on it. Or there was a really dedicated, active core group of people who just love this thing. The people converting from the free trial into the long-term paid membership past 3 months was really low. What the heck? What are we doing wrong here? I'm kind of embarrassed to say it took me this long, but it did. I'll be honest here. I started thinking about how I teach business development to YouTube creators. And I was breaking a lot of my own rules. Some of those most foundational rules are you need to know what your audience wants, the value they actually want to consume from you, and then you need to sell that to them for 10x the value in a format they're willing to pay for. Not to throw myself under the bus too much, I thought I was listening to my audience. So that's why I was confused. Like, where is the disconnect? What is happening here? The swing and the miss that we kept hitting is, although people said they want community and they wanted access to us and they want the value that's happening there, what they really want is two things. And this is just our audience. I'm not saying this is true for anyone else other than us. Is one, they wanted something that was going to just save them time. And engaging in a community to get value costs people time. The second thing that we learned that these people really, really wanted, there needs to be a direct perceived benefit to me. Engaging in a community has an indirect benefit to me. So it made sense that people would be pretty engaged in the very beginning and then slowly kind of fizzle off as other things were more clearly a higher benefit to them and their efforts on YouTube. And the other thing we noticed is like it kind of started feeling to a lot of our people like engaging with the community was just like another thing they had to do. Now it works really well for us inside of like 8 weeks of video labs. When it was a defined period of time, people could figure out how to stay engaged and how to make it work for 8 weeks. But when it's ongoing for an undefined period of time and there's no sense of completion to it, that just made it harder for people to stick around. So after all that, we at the end of December, so last month, decided we're gonna close all of this down. What we leaned into instead is like what the people really do want from us is they do want access to expertise and they want it in a way that feels like there's a direct benefit to them and that's going to save them time. And our online courses check both of those boxes. We have a lot of online courses, some that are just for our internal clients that we haven't yet really made public, others that we only launch like once or twice a year. And we have tons of these guest expert interviews and trainings that we've done. We launched what we now are calling the Video Creators Academy, which is a monthly subscription for the same price, $47. It's 99 cents cheaper now. And you get access to an entire library of content. Right now, there's 12 trainings and online courses from everything about creating and launching online courses and making money with that to growing a business around your channel, to monetization strategies, to setting up the right equipment and systems to make content creation scalable, to an online course I did with an acting coach on how to feel comfortable on camera. We do have a monthly coaching thing as a part of that as well. I think we are getting closer to understanding what our audience really wants. Don't be afraid to experiment and try things. I think sometimes we hold on to things too long and end up wasting a lot of time and energy and money and frustration. When you shut something down, it forces you to sometimes find alternatives and try new things rather than just getting stuck in the thing that's kind of working and you're never really motivated to go find something that could work better. One of the problems we were running into with video labs is a couple things. After you go through 30 days to about a YouTube channel, you've learned how to optimize your channel for growth. But then video labs is our next level in-depth training that we do. We had to limit it to 20 people. Oh, sounds like a good sales tactic, Tim. Yeah, but we were almost always selling them out. And there's a lot of people who wanted to take advantage of it who couldn't. And so as I was looking for other membership programs and looking for advice, I stumbled upon this program called Volley. I describe it as kind of like if you took Slack and merged it into like Snapchat. Asynchronous video chat is technically what it's called. You leave a video message, someone else watches it, they leave a video message back, and then you go back and forth with video messages. And so they were building this platform originally for virtual teams that are working online together, especially since the pandemic. So there's more human connection and interaction, but it also saves a lot of time because you're not typing all the time. This allows us to exactly do what we want to do, which is to scale our group coaching program and serve people better at the same time. You create a space, which is kind of like a workspace, and we made one for us, a space for business labs. And then inside of business labs, we create several different channels, which would be like rooms that you can interact in. And so I made a different room, a different channel, like introduce yourself and a random off-topic one and announcements one where only I can post into that one. And then I made a different channel for every section of the course as well. And then in the coursework, when they do the assignments, they report on those things as they're working through it. And oh my gosh, it worked amazingly well. And what happened is, instead of having to limit business labs to only 20 people so that I have enough time to give everyone time and attention inside of a live call, instead we had almost 50 people in there. I could serve people better, and it also eliminated the need not only to have meetings, but that opened up the material for people to be able to join from any time zone with any schedule and work through it at their own pace, which when we were meeting in a Zoom call every week, that like kind of forced everyone to work through the material and get through it at the same time, which sounds good. But what ended up happening is, within the course of 8 weeks, life is just going to happen at some point. You're not going to get to that material and you're going to fall behind. You're not going to get to that assignment. And then you're going to feel like you're just playing catch up for the rest of the time in that course. And that happened every single course with like half the people. And so now like there's a little more flexibility. There's still some accountability, because I said I'm only going to be here in Volley for 2 months. There's still like that scarcity part that still kind of helped them feel motivated to get through the material in a timely manner. And so after my experience there, I was like, you know what? I think there's an opportunity here for us to try this with other things. How about with our one-on-one coaching clients that we do in our action plan? When people first come on as a client for our first initial 3 months, we're still going to be doing the Zoom calls, but they're still going to get access to that strategist in Volley. It reduces the amount of email that they're doing. Instead of them spending time in front of their inbox, reading emails from their clients, taking the time to email and write back, it's just like an ongoing conversation, and it's a higher perceived value because the human connection is so much higher and it feels like personalized attention. We have found that Volley is like really good in 3 different situations. Number one, if you are an educator like we are, you're running online courses and you want a more scalable way to help more people, but also in a deeper, better way. And then number two, if you are an influencer, maybe you're more in the entertainment spectrum of things, it's a really good way to engage with your community, for you to give them access to each other in a way that people can engage more on their own time and their own schedule, rather than having to be at something live at the same time in order to have that experience. 3, really good if you are doing something like we're doing with client services. You're an expert, you're an agency, and you really want to reduce the amount of time you're spending in email while also improving the amount of attention that your clients feel like they're getting from you. I think Volley's great for that situation. So I want to give you guys access to me on Volley. I talked with one of the co-founders of Volley. Turns out he's a video creators fan himself. Josh and I have created a little mini course for you completely for free inside of a Volley space that we're inviting you to. There's a link in the show notes. You'll have to create a free Volley account just to come check it out, interact with me and Josh, ask questions, see what it's like. That little free mini course is in there where Josh and I go back and forth, as well as the process that I've figured out after using Volley for a little bit that really helps your people onboard really quickly and easily with making them feel comfortable and making them feel confident about using the platform. So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys again next week for another Video Creators episode.